Well, my dad was a physician. He was an obstetrician gynecologist, and I remember he would come home after work and go straight to a workshop and just decompress, and that was his to-go place to relax. And he did that for years, and I eventually would go down there with him and just to talk and catch up because he was working a lot and gone a lot. And so we spent a lot of time in his workshop, and he didn't really, show me how to, build, the woodworking and get in the wood crafting, but I just watched him, and he was a smart guy, great with his hands, very talented, very creative, and we spent a lot of time down there, and that's where we bonded and together, gained just an enormous appreciation, for quality handcrafted furniture. His father was an architect and an engineer, and that's where my dad gained the interest in the wood crafting from him, because his father dabbled in the woodworking business. And so it's turned into a third generation, wood crafting business. The business actually started, I needed a dining room table for myself. And I looked at all the stores here in Nashville and went online, and I went to some of the the high-end, real nice furniture stores here, and I couldn't find anything that was solid quality wood. And I remembered that years ago, one of my dad's patients had a huge walnut tree fall in her yard. She lived way out in the country. And I'll never forget one Sunday afternoon, I'll never forget that he and I drove out there and cut it up, and we took it to a mill and had it cut in 2-inch thick boards. And he was going to do something with it, but he passed away before he was able to do anything with it. And so when I was in my search for my dining room table, I remembered that I had that walnut lumber, and I'd never built a table before like that. And so I built one, and it turned out great. I mean, it was beautiful. But it wasn't until my friends saw it. I enjoy entertaining, and I enjoy cooking. And so I often have parties or, football games, holidays. It's just fun. It's fun to have people over and have everybody together. And so so that's what started the business. Is everybody that saw it was just blown away by my table, and so they, I was like, well, it's not that big a deal. But they were like, yes, it is, Jim. I mean, you've got to you need to build these and sell them here in Nashville. They're like, there's a huge market, because we know there's not a place in the area that really builds quality custom tables like this. And so after 6 months, 8 months, I did the research, and it turned out that the market's great here in Nashville. And so I started the business, and I named it after my father. Emerson was his middle name. And so there's a personal story and connection with this business. And I wanted to carry out the family's name because that's where it started. And I think he would be proud of me because when we put our Emerson name on these tables, my family is standing behind them. And so, and these are tables that can be passed on from generation to generation in people's families. We specialize in walnut simply because we think it's the prettiest wood available. It's got the earthy, warm tones of the grain, and the grain really pops when we put our finish on it, regardless if it's a glossy finish or a matte finish. It's just a beautiful wood. It's extremely durable. It's very heavy. It's great to build with because the wood actually holds the bolts that we use to put it together. Unlike, the lesser woods like the pines and whatnot, usually the screw will strip the wood. That's the problem a lot of people have. With this walnut, it'll break the screw before it strips the wood. I can't tell you how many screws I've gone through break. These are bolts. I mean, these are heavy things. And it just shows you the strength of this wood.
One thing that I know is that walnut is probably the premier piece of wood in the United States. Another reason that I love your stuff, Jim, is that we're not, dealing with imported, furniture from other companies, and it's a small business that you're just starting, and it's American-made with American wood.
So what we did was we created 3 different collections for our tables, just to give people an idea of the different designs and looks that are available. We are a custom table maker, and so we'll build exactly what our customers want as far as the design, dimensions, the finishes. It's all custom. But our collections, the first one we did was what we call the Belle Meade collection, which is named after a high-end area of Nashville. And these tables, in fact, the one I'm sitting on is a Belle Meade table. They're 2 inches thick, solid walnut. They're more straight lines, more traditional, classic looking. They have a matte finish that gives it a more traditional look. I've demonstrated before where I can actually jump on the corner and with glasses and wine and food and the drinks just sit there. These are glass, wine glasses with wine in them, and I'm jumping on the corner and they don't move, and people are just blown away by that. All right, these tables are strong. Then we have a collection called the Leaper's Fort collection, and that's named after an area south of Nashville. And it's a beautiful area. It's got these big farms and beautiful houses, horses, and so our table kind of fits that theme. The Leaper's Fort table has, it's got live edges, which gives it a more rustic feel, and it's got live edges on the base to match the top. And the picture you'll see on our website has a gloss finish. Some people like the gloss, some people like the matte, and so we can do it however people want it. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful table. And then we have the Sobre Collection, and that is named after an area of town, downtown, that's got more of a younger geographic, and we're trying to appeal to that market. That table is, it's 1 inch as opposed to the 2 inch tables in the other 2 collections. And what we do is we've got what we call it's a dead flat finish. And it's got a zero sheen, and it's a protective finish for spillage and food. You've got to protect these tables somehow, but you can't really see it. It's got the natural look to it, and it's got the 4 legs, and it's more just a traditional table. But again, we can design and build that table to our customer specs, design, size, and finish. Emerson Tables is a brand that wants to showcase the true beauty, quality, and custom aesthetic of high-end, locally made furniture right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So take a look at our website, the photo gallery, contact us, and we look forward to working with you.